This study is the result of a compilation of elements on a still very unexplored topic: Italy-Georgia relations. The need to provide cohesive material on this transversal section of world history led to the development of this project, and it is dedicated to those who would like to examine it or to know a little bit more about the connections between the two countries. Actually, this is a dual study, of which the first part is based on our research exploring events belonging to the history of these populations. From 2000 years ago, it goes back to the time of Argonauts in Colchis and carries on with illustrious persons like Vespasian, Octavian, even Julius Caesar, going as far as the USSR downfall. I based my work on encyclopedias and books, but the research went even beyond, leading me to explore propaganda fide historical archives at the Holy See. There, I found many unedited reports and original letters written by missionary friars from the 14th to the 17th century. They told about their audacious travel throughout seas and deep canyons, narrating tradition of the inhabitants of those lands. For what concerns the diplomatic relations section instead, I was supported by materials given by institutional bodies, such as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Council of Europe, and the two embassies. Alongside the ambition of offering a cohesive mapping of the great turmoil descriptive of the leftist times, the objective was to try and answer a recent question: what's going to be Georgia's future? In order to answer this question, one shall take into account various factors at play, pushing on one side Georgia to Europe and on the other side to Russia. The international asset is in fact delicate. However, the thread that has always been uniting Italy and Georgia is clearly going to last. The second section of this dissertation instead represents a detailed study on linguistic, educational, and cultural connection. This part, on the other hand, is the result of my personal experience as a student and a teacher in Georgia. My university gave me the opportunity to spend 6 months in Tbilisi this last year, where I was able to cooperate with the NGO Minerva on the Teach and Learning with Georgia project. On this occasion, I was able to expand my skills with Russian, following a class in Sukhumi University and practicing the language with locals, first of all with my host family that became my second family. Besides, I was able to try and teach Italian to elementary, middle school, and university students side by side with Georgian professors. I could experiment the role of a teacher, analyzing student difficulties and sharing opinions with other colleagues. At the same time, I was given the opportunity to take part at EU National Institutes of Culture assemblies as a spokesperson. It has been an experience that inspired the dissertation that I'm now exposing to you, especially for what concerns this third section, which contains reports of personal experiences, surveys, and interviews to teachers, NGO Minerva representatives, and all the people who accepted to take part as testimonies as Georgian scholars or migrants that learned the language. During this period abroad, I was able to encounter the Italian ambassador in Tbilisi, diplomats, Tbilisi's mayor, professors, and students at cultural events of bonding among Italy and Georgia. For example, during the Italian Festival della Repubblica or the very first edition of the Mediterranean Film Festival in Tbilisi. This opportunity inspired the last chapter of this dissertation, dedicated to touch upon the present day's overview, especially culture, art, and entertainment. In other words, all that is close to the hearts of the two countries that recognize each other as brothers since forever.